Welcome back to a brand new video. Let's dive deep into what variable scripts are and its core fundamentals. Enough talk, let's continue this video. Okay, so what is variable scripts in JavaScript? Variable scripts in JS is recognized and accessible from the scope object. In my last video, we looked at through what constant variables are in JavaScript, and today's video will demonstrate through on how scope variables work. Similarly, scope variables are used to define the declaration and the variable in different properties. So for example, normally you use let, var, and const, mainly let and const due to being accessible rather than var. Variable scopes all helps to recognize the errors and the properties that's been used. So let's discover more about how it works. Let's define a declaration. So let's say let x equals to 1 and let y equals to 1. So here are our different declarations. So variable scopes in JavaScript is meant to be unique. So x as a variable and y as a variable where all data sets has been stored inside. If it's the same variable, it will show this error displaying that both of the variables are in the same variable. So it says here this message can't we declare block script variable because x is already been defined. If I use const x equals to 2, again, it just shows that it doesn't declare the block scope variable. So if I put xy, it will show a new unique setup, unlike the x, where it shows a different variable, because even though we use the same different const and let, it just still shows you a different error compared to it. So I feel like variable scopes help us identify the troubleshooting errors that's declared from it, and it provides more information about the syntax context within the error. So there are different types of scopes in JavaScript. So number one, global scope and local scope. So local scope is where you define where you declare a variable inside the function. And a global scope is where you declare a variable outside of the scope. So let me demonstrate of how these type of scopes usually work. So we create like a function, we call it function, my function. Let's call this one as number one. So we could call this one my function, and let's say this one here is my function one. We call let x equals to 2, console log with the x, and it should return 2. Let's copy this and call this one as my function 2. So then let's say let x is, or let y equals to 3. We call this y, and it should return 3. So this is a local scope. A local scope is where you define a variable inside of the scope, inside the function. So in this case, you use a declarative variable and also figuring out this method here for this function. Otherwise, as for global scope, if we define this one as my function only, so we're going to execute this. Let's execute this, and there we go. So in this example here, it will return as 2 because we execute this function here. And let's include my function 2. And yeah, again, it executes another variable here, which it the output is 3, because the global scope, it fully returns outside of the function, whereas local scope returns inside of the function. This time, let's change a variable. Let's call it z, and let's call this one x. And as you can see here, it returns the value perfectly well. It returns the value well, but it only shows this error showing that z is declared, but its value never read, which meaning that this bit here, we declared this value here, and as well as x was also being declared. This one here demonstrated that both of these variables can cause conflicts between each others, and to reduce it, we sometimes use the const variable to avoid confusion and conflict, which this one here only returns 3, and let's say const x this time. Yes, so const will only return 2 and 3 as normal, because it only declares a value and as well to a specific number that is being read, or a value. This is my quick video. This was me demonstrating on how scope variable work. If you enjoyed this video, please hit a like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a video. I'll be more consistent with my uploads coming up next week, so stay tuned. This is your boy Soft Zen. I'm out. Peace.